All right, let's talk about something I'm sure a lot of you have felt. You're at this point with English where you can understand pretty much everything, right? Movies, podcasts, conversations. But then, when it's your turn to speak, there's this gap, a frustrating gap between the English in your head and the English that actually comes out of your mouth. Well, in this explainer, we're going to tackle that head on. We're going to talk about how to finally bridge that fluency gap and let your true self shine through when you speak.
So, does this hit home for you? That feeling that your personality in English is, well, a simpler version of the real you? You know, you're witty, you're smart, you have all these complex thoughts, but in English, it all gets a bit lost. You just feel flatter. If you're nodding along right now, I want you to know you are absolutely not alone, and you've come to the right place.
You know, there's actually a name for this feeling. It's called the intermediate plateau, and it is so frustrating, isn't it? It's that tricky spot where you're way past being a beginner, but you just don't feel like a truly confident, advanced speaker yet. It feels like your progress has just stalled out, and breaking through to the next level seems impossible. But here's the good news. It's not.
Okay, so how do we actually bridge this gap? What's the secret? Well, I can tell you what it's not. It's not about endlessly memorizing more vocabulary lists or drilling more grammar rules. The real key, the breakthrough, comes from a totally different way of thinking about what fluency even means.
See, real advanced fluency, we're talking C1, C2 level, isn't about being a perfect English robot who never makes a grammar mistake. No way! It's about becoming a master of communication. It's about the psychology of the conversation, it's about being strategic with how you respond, and it's about using emotional intelligence to actually connect with the person you're talking to. Let me show you what I mean. Let's look at a real example. An intermediate speaker might just ask a very direct, simple question. Why? But check out the difference with an advanced speaker. They'll use a much more strategic phrase, something like, "What led you to that conclusion?" See what's happening there? It's not just asking for a fact, it's inviting a story. It opens the door for a much deeper conversation and builds a real connection.
Okay, here's another one, this time focused on emotional intelligence. An intermediate response might be, "I don't like it." It's direct, sure, but it can also sound a little blunt, a little harsh. Now compare that to, "It's not really my thing." It's so much softer, right? It's more nuanced. You're saying the same basic thing, but the social feeling is completely different. And that kind of subtlety, that is a huge part of advanced communication.
All right, so this all sounds good in theory, but how do we actually start building these skills? Let's get really practical. I want to give you an advanced communication toolkit. 3 specific, powerful tools you can start using literally today in your very next English conversation.
So here's what's in the toolkit. We're going to focus on 3 things. First up, mastering active listening. This is all about building connection. Second, we'll cover how to disagree politely, which is key for showing both respect and confidence. And finally, we'll look at using nuanced phrasing to make what you say so much richer and more precise.
Okay, tool number 1 is an active listening technique that is so simple but so incredibly powerful. It's called mirroring. So imagine someone says to you, "Ugh, I finally decided to quit my job." Instead of panicking about what to say next, you just echo them. You say, "You decided to quit?" with your voice going up a bit at the end. That's it. It instantly shows you're listening and it invites them to tell you more. The best part? It takes all the pressure off of you to keep the conversation going. It shifts the focus from being an interesting speaker to being an interested listener.
All right, tool number 2. Let's talk about disagreeing politely. This can be a really tricky one for language learners, but it's so important for sounding confident and respectful. So instead of a blunt, "You're wrong," try one of these phrases. Look at them. "I see your point, but," or "I respect your opinion, but." Do you see the pattern? Every single one starts by acknowledging or validating the other person's idea before you give your own. That simple structure, validate first, then state your view, is a total game changer. It shows real maturity and high emotional intelligence.
And our third tool is all about nuanced phrasing. Now listen, this isn't about using big, complicated words to sound smart. It's about being more accurate. So instead of falling back on a generic phrase like "very important" all the time, pause and think, what do you really mean? Is this rule crucial to follow? Is this ingredient essential for the recipe? Was that historical event truly significant? Just choosing that one, more precise word immediately makes you sound so much clearer and more thoughtful.
So, as we start to wrap this up, I want to bring it back to the big picture. Why are we even talking about all this? These tools, they're not just tricks to make you sound advanced. They are pathways. They are ways for you to finally express your authentic self in English. All your ideas,
your unique personality, your way of seeing the world.
Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't perfection. It's not about speaking flawless, mistake-free English. The real goal is about three things: clarity, confidence, and connection. Being able to communicate your ideas clearly, feeling confident when you do it, and using the language to build real, genuine connections with people. That is what true fluency is all about. So, I want to leave you with a final thought, a little challenge. For just a moment, forget about perfection. Forget about grammar mistakes. Instead, I want you to ask yourself this: what is one small thing you can do this week to let more of the real you come out when you speak English? Maybe it's your sense of humor, your intelligence, your kindness. How can you let that shine through just a little bit more?